What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, angry motherfucking Jackalope, bitches! I'm up in this bitch once again. We got the backwoods in here. What's up, backwoods? We got the Bronxy Bronx Jackalope. What is up, motherfuckers? I don't know if you guys have partaken of this lovely beverage right here. This is a motherfucking Dr. Pepper and cream soda. Holy shit, it's good. My son just now at dinner was like, "Hey, Dad, Dr. Pepper and cream soda." I said, "It's good, right?" He's like, I said, "Fucking told you, man." When I was out last, I bought like 6 cases of this shit because I was like, fuck it. If the apocalypse comes, I'm going to ride it out with this shit right here. It's fucking delicious. It's delicious. In fact, I'm going to try an experiment. See, they got this Captain Morgan Long Island iced tea mix right here. And I has myself a empty glass. Yeah, forgive me, my office is somewhat of a mess right now. It's a little bit of a disarray, all things considered. It's not surprising. Go ahead and try some of this. Woo! That's not bad by itself. Captain Morgan. What the captain has. All right. Put the top back on this. That way I have my beverage for this evening. What's up, yakety yak? Put this bitch over here. Pop the top on the Dr. Pepper and cream. Oh my God, it's delicious. What's up, Simicom? We take the Captain Morgan. We take the Dr. Pepper and cream. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got a nice color. Nice coloration going on here. Let us try it, shall we? It's good. All right. I got my tasty beverage ready to rock and roll. All right, so some of you may or may not have seen my post. My wife has a YouTube channel now. It's called Views. What is it? Views from the ED. Yeah, Views from the ED, Emergency Department, Utah. And if you guys want, I'll put it down in the description. But actually, you know, I don't even have to do that. I just go like this. Hang on. Let me get that motherfucking link. Let me get the motherfucking link. I'll get that link for y'all real quick. It's on the Discord, by the way. If you guys have not gone to the Discord and you are interested in getting on the Discord, let me know. Let me know. Let's go ahead and log in here. Or I can get the fucking link for you. And, you know, her first video, see that hour-long video because she basically, it's a pretty good concept, actually. I like her core concept. And I think it's going to be a very interesting video. There we go. What's up, Vixen? Simicon, dude, I've been craving some rum and Dr. Pepper, something fierce. Oh, shit. Well, Simicon. It's not quite rum. It's Long Island iced tea, but it is, Captain Morgan. So, but, cheers, motherfuckers. All right. That way I could drink and I don't feel like an alcoholic, right? Because I'm drinking with you guys. So, it's okay. Well, I will pass it on, Miralope. I'm glad you liked it. It's kind of interesting because the core concept is here in Utah, the Rona, that's what a lot of the other tubers are calling it so they don't get in trouble. The Rona is not hitting us as bad as other places. So she thought, and she hit me up late at night, like 3 or 4 nights ago, and said, "Hey, I wanna create a channel where I tackle some of the topics, and I'm tired of all of the fear stuff, and I want to bring just how we on the front line are feeling." And I'm like, "All right, whatever you want to do, let's do it," And so she did a brilliant job of going and talking to almost all of her motherfucking coworkers, which is why this first video is like a fucking hour long, because she went and asked 4 base questions and got all their answers, which was cool because she's going to follow up pretty much every week. So the thinking is, as the cases continue and we start to hear horror stories in our state, well, we have an inside person that's going to be giving us the real deal Holyfield skinny on shit. So that's good, right? Because, she's not going to bullshit you guys. She's going to fucking pretty much tell you what she sees in there. And I'm like, all right, I'm down with that. Whereas I'm going to tell you and speculate all kinds of scary shit that the government's doing to stick massive Rona up our boop boops. You know what I'm saying? That's my job. My job is to say, yeah, she could talk the medical shit. And on Discord, I've been posting up all of the legitimate, really good people telling us what to do to be responsible and everything else. And I think it is prudent at this point to protect ourselves as much as possible, especially a lot of my lopes. You motherfuckers are not the healthiest of motherfuckers around. So I would highly recommend the distancing and the quarantining and everything else. And I think some of us just naturally do the distance thing anyway because we don't like a lot of people normally. So we kind of like at a distance. So I think for the most part we're okay, but the more I research this and the more I look at it, I'm like, dude, this is the possibly most perfect bioweapon ever created, if that is indeed what it turns out to be. Because it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant the way the shit works. And it's just fucking funny to me. But let's go ahead and start talking some conspiratorial shit, shall we? Because some of this shit just, I don't know, kind of bugs me. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and do a display capture. Woo! There we go into the time warp. Bloom. Bring this up. All right. So I have in the Discord pinned up some stuff because these were interesting things to me. Let's see. I think it was this one. It was one. We'll see if this one opens up. No, I don't want to restore all those pages. So these ones are interesting, and let me just do this also just to make sure that I see what I see. So it shows, wow, it shows this and more of the desktop. That's kind of crazy. Oh, I see how it's working. Okay, groovy. Groovy. All right. So it's interesting because, you know, you can go ahead and look at some of these links, like this is the world life expectancy, live longer, live better, blah, blah, blah. And then, let's see, I think it is this one. I think this was the one. Ah, yes. This one right here is very interesting. I'm going to maximize it, and I'm going to actually make it bigger. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? That way, even if you're super fucking blind, you should be able to see this shit. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, I can see that shit even when it's teeny tiny like that. Okay. And I do want to see the chat though, because I'm going to bring the chat up here, and I will scoot the chat like that. All right. So here's the interesting stuff. This particular website, and I will move this down, so if you guys are interested, it's worldometers with an S at the end .info. Okay, worldometers info. And what's really crazy about this shit, here, let's do this. I'm gonna cover the fucking ad because this ad is fucking ugh. All right. You can see public healthcare expenditure today. Wow. Is let's see, that's the millions. So there's 12 billion. 12 billion today went out in public healthcare expenditure. Let's see, this is world, right? This is for the entire world. Entire fucking world. Cars produced. Bicycles produced, computer produced, newspaper, cellular phone, internet users in the world, email sent today, blog posts written today, tweets, Google searches, blah, 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 blah. Right? And, you know, you can see they got CO2 emissions on here, you know, how much tons this year. You click on it, so there's almost 79 million tons of CO2 emissions today. So just so you know, this is not a partisan thing. This is kind of neutral. It's just covering data, right? So we have 842 million undernourished people in the world. And we have 1,691 overweight people in the world. Obese people. We have 24,725 people who died of hunger today. So there's a sobering number, right? 24,000 people starved to death today, worldwide. Okay, so this is money spent for obesity-related diseases in the USA today. 464 million. Wow. And then 152 million was spent today, people trying to do weight loss. That's good business. Good business, right? Water used. Death caused by water-related diseases. Let's go today. We had 1,863 people today worldwide that died because they had some disease that was in the water that they had to drink. And it makes sense because we have 802 million people with no access to safe drinking water. It was interesting. Interesting data. Here, let me pull this up here so that way I don't lose my chatty chat. Let's see. China's not learned from their mistakes and they reopened the wet markets in Wuhan. Probably because the wet markets aren't where it really came from. They probably are like, we know exactly how the shit came out. Either they released it themselves or a foreign entity went in and released it and left them holding the bag. This was interesting. We have 43 years before we run out of oil, based off of their calculations here. Now we get down to health. This is the interesting one, okay? All right. So they have a whole section dedicated to COVID, okay? But I found these numbers to be both sobering and horrifying at the same time. So let's toggle by today. So today there were 94,150 some odd abortions today. 94,000. Now granted, this is worldwide. Okay, this is still worldwide. This is not specific to just the US, but it is still interesting numbers. Suicides, 2,376 suicides today. All right. Death caused by alcohol today, 5,543, and I believe they're probably talking of health-related things as well as maybe driving or whatever. Look at this fucking number right here. $103 trillion. Is that trillion? Wait, no. Billion. 103 billion spent on illegal drugs this year. I suspect that number is probably low, but whatever. Whatever. But check this out. Check this out. Death of mothers during birth this year. 685 died today giving birth. Worldwide. Again. Flu. 1,078 died of the flu today. Worldwide. Diseases. Other contagious diseases. Just random mixed together. 28,709 today. Let's look at death by AIDS. HIV AIDS. 3,729 today. Let's talk about cancer. 18,000 today. Malaria. 2,000. Smoking related. 11,000. So we got 11, 16, 17, 18, 36, 37, 38. Let's say 39. 39, 35, 50, 60. So say 65,000 people died today of these miscellaneous health-related deals. Okay? Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pop over to this one and we'll go to this one. This is the data. So this is, since they've been tracking, this is total for the time period. Okay? Let's go ahead and double check that. So you could see new deaths, total deaths is 64,000. Total deaths since when? What does it cover? Is this today? Is this total for today? Let's see. I believe these are totals. These are totals, I believe. So they had 3 new deaths today. 3 new deaths today calculated. So USA total deaths 8,452. It's funny I don't see new deaths in here. You would imagine there would be some new deaths in here. This is the data that Johns Hopkins pulls from for their little pretty scary chart that they have. And all right, so these are the mortality rates that they are estimating. It's funny. we have February, March. We don't see a whole lot of new updates here as we are now inside of April. So I'd like to see some new data, but we'll wait. We'll have to wait and see what that brings up, right? Let's get you guys back here in the chat. Let's see. Check out 5G coverage for the new T-Modal. Check out their coverage map. Compare that to the Rona hotspots. Yeah. Well, what's funny is, it's funny you mention that, because if you go to, I think I saw it on Drudge. I think I saw it over here. Let's make this bigger so you guys can all see things. I believe there is some craziness going on right now relating to, here it is, 5G's masked over coronavirus fears. The Rona fear. So some places they're trying to fuck up these towers, right? And then they say the myth was quickly debunked after the WHO confirmed there were cases in Africa. And they said there is no evidence that just 5G has anything to do with Rona, right? Rona. So some people are actually striking out. They're like, you know what, fuck this shit. We're not going to fucking stand for this shit. We are not going to let this shit happen. So it's kind of interesting, right? It's just kind of interesting to watch that. Like, whoa, what the fuck's going on over there? But, you know, I'm less concerned with that. I'm more concerned that people treat this with respect, but at the same time understand there is more at work here than a pandemic. There's more shit going on. You know, we have this comet C19 that's coming pretty soon here, and every time I see the fucking picture of this comet, I'm reminded of there was an old 80s movie called Night of the Comet, and the premise of the movie was this comet was coming by and the Earth was going to pass through the tail of this comet, and it like fucked up most of the people. Like, most people disappeared. There's a handful of people that were like, I forget if they're laying on metal or some other thing that kept them safe or some shit. Like, one person fell asleep in the back of a truck or some shit or whatever. And they were like the last people on Earth type of thing, but they were like these zombie things or whatever. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But anyway, but I think about it every time I see this C19, and I couldn't help but notice C19. Okay, C19, and then we have this Rona 19, and you know, it's like, okay, whatever. And then, you know, we have Pink, the musician, who initially reported she had gotten a Rona with her son. And then miraculously, she did another test recently, and it came back negative. And she's donating $500,000 to LA Medical to help out. And I couldn't help but think, man, wouldn't that be funny if that little story was just like, hey, here's the price for the cure. If you got $500,000, you just pay whatever this group is and it gets a cure for you. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, there's some really weird shit going on that I can't help but notice. The world as we know it has changed almost overnight. We now see shit like not being able to go out and eat. Like us for dinner, for example. Oh, did it really start buffering? Because I accidentally said the word. There was a point where I said the word by accident. Whoops. You know, drink. Hang on. That was good. It's only going to get better as the night goes on, too. I already know that. So, I'm a big fan of Canadian Prepper. I like the guy a lot. I think he approaches things from a very rational point of view. And he seems like a fun guy. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know him personally. He's probably one of the few YouTubers that I have not had a chance to powwow with or anything else, but I like the guy. I like him a lot. And so, of course, I watch a lot of his content. And I gotta say, as I'm watching his video, I agree with his assessment 1,000%. You know, they're talking about here in the U.S., things are going to be better by the end of April, which I have to cry out loudly bullshit. And, you know, in his video that he just dropped, if you're not familiar with Canadian Prepper, go check him out. He's in our community, he's actually a pretty big channel. So if you don't know who he is, I don't understand why that is. But anyway, the facts remain. Even on the Discord channel, I put a bunch of content up there that talks about, you know, people who are coming at this from a very neutral point of view, and they're talking about it from a scientific point, and they're talking about vaccinations and how things are handled and what this thing does to your body, yada, yada, yada. And I think at this point, because of the fear response to this particular situation, I think the vast majority of people are pretty well indoctrinated into this particular virus at this point. I really do. I think with the mainstream media pounding it 24/7, channels like myself who are out obviously talking about it as well, I think there's just enough information for us to look at it and go, yeah, this is a pretty nasty little thing. Now, some of the things that are problematic to me is the media. We should never trust these assholes in the first place, because they don't deserve the trust. They betray it almost daily. It's pretty ridiculous. Remember not too long ago when they were talking about Syria and whatnot, and they were showing certain footage that looked like a war zone, and what it was like a, you know, gun show opening day, tracers just lining the sky. And they took that footage and they were like, hey, look, this is bad. This is a bad thing. And it was like, it's bullshit. You guys jacked some fucking video that matched whatever fucking narrative you were cooking up. And there you go. Well, in places like New York and in Hawaii, there have been videos where people have been saying they're getting overrun, they're having problems, this, that, and everything else. And then citizen journalists have been going out and debunking the shit out of it, making them look like assholes that they are. And it's ridiculous. It's retarded. And so when you see stuff like the news repurposing content from a report on Italy, and then saying that this is what they're seeing in New York, and they're saying that this is the actual thing, that's criminal. That's criminal. That is, in my opinion, the equivalent of going into a movie theater and yelling fire. Because if you are setting people's fear and anxiety levels, then you're fear-mongering and you're creating... I mean, how many people take the news dead seriously, suddenly think the sky is falling, and then go and they kill themselves, or they get really fucking drunk and they're quarantined at home and they end up beating the shit out of their wife or their kid or whatever, and they die. You know what I mean? It's like they don't think it through. They just say, well, this is what they tell us to do. Hey, we're little dancing monkeys and we have fucking puppets above us telling us what to do, puppeteers. And it's, you know, it's like, come on, man, have some fucking integrity and some fucking balls and tell the fucking truth, you know. And people wonder why I don't trust the media. And then, you know, we all understand the media is bought and paid for. It's owned by a very small conglomerate of companies. There's really entertaining videos that are out there. Let's see. I've seen way too many people who used to say don't trust the government and do not comply, all of a sudden point to government and the media's numbers as if they were the world of... Exactly. The numbers, first and foremost... there it is. The numbers, first and foremost, are bullshit. Plain and simple. These numbers just don't add up. And anybody who spends more than 10 minutes analyzing the data is going to come to the exact same conclusion. And there's logical, logistical reasons that they don't. First and foremost is not everybody had tests. Not everybody could be tested. The problem that I'm also seeing is there's actual tests that are going out. There was some testing equipment that went out to NHS over across the pond there that got intercepted, and they tested it, and they had live Rona on it. And I'm like, okay, where did I hear this before? Where did I hear this before? Oh shit, I heard this shit when Baxter did it with the swine flu. It's the same fucking shit. Like, they have been trying to cook up a pandemic forever. Now think about this. If the test kits are infected and you're taking tests and you weren't infected, well, they just cram this shit right up your fucking nose where the thing's gonna want to live. You just gave it a fucking home. That's why I'm not getting tested. I told my wife, I said, listen, she's testing my O2 stat level. We got a little finger monitor thing you put on the fucking finger. It tells the pulse, tells my my oxygen level. I said, listen, if my O2 stat drops below 80 and I'm having a hard time fucking breathing and I feel like complete ran over dog shit, yeah, maybe I'll go into the ER. Maybe, but I won't need to be tested because I'm like, no. And now if I'm thinking I already have it and I'm fucking dying, man, fuck, test it. What are you going to do? It's not like it's going to make it any worse. But yeah, they got that shit going on. You got Bill Gates. I hate this motherfucker. Just laying down mandates like the king on high, talking the wildest crazy, we need to do this. Like, shut the fuck up, Poindexter, who is not the moral fiber of honor. Microsoft was built by him ripping shit off. So fuck you, Bill Gates. It's just retarded. It's completely fucking retarded. The world is really going down that conspiratorial fucking shithole really fast. And my opinion, the next couple of steps after this is kill the internet. And then if that doesn't achieve the goal that they're going after, what's up, nacho cheese? If that doesn't achieve the goal that they want, which it should, the internet drops, the world as we know it is going to burn. Oh my God. People without the internet are going to lose their shit. If there was no internet, suddenly I think I'd find inner peace and I'd grab 5 or 6 books and I'd sit back and have a bottle of whatever I want to fucking drink, and I would just sit back and read my books and be fucking happy as a pig in shit. I don't need the fucking internet. But I know there's several members of my family that would lose it completely. But in any event, if that doesn't work, then they're going to go back to my favorite, which I have been saying on this channel for fucking years now, and I'm going to reiterate it again because I desperately think that this is something that's going to happen. They're going to cut the power. Now that there is a peak in gun ownership, we have a bunch of former anti-gunners now strapped like you wouldn't believe, ready for war. And they'll cut the power, and we're going to watch motherfuckers lose it. I mean, we're already seeing people pretty stretched. I have neighbors right now complaining about my fucking dog that have been on our little community Facebook page for our neighborhood. They're talking shit about 2 other dogs or 3 other dogs, but I thought they were talking about my dog. And I said, hey, look, guys, I'm sorry. The dog parks are closed. I can't bring my dog. She's a big puppy. She likes to play, and her idea of saying hi is to bark like, hey, how you doing, motherfuckers? But there's a fence. If you come past the fence, I will fuck you up. That's her saying hello. And, but I don't leave her out. And this motherfucker was like, yeah, you can call the police on this. I'm like, no, you can't call the police because it's not after 10 o'clock. I monitor when she's outside. I keep an eye on her, blah, blah, blah. So eat a big, fat, hairy cock. But I didn't say that because I understand right now people are pretty stressed out. So I said, look, that's not the law, and I don't leave her out unattended, blah blah blah. So This is where I live. This is how you can contact me. Feel free to come say hi. After that, everybody fucking changed their tone. I guess they looked me up and saw my shit and said, oh, leave that motherfucker alone. Whatever. But right now, people are already wound up pretty fucking tight. So if you think about it, you've got half of the world locked down, just freaking out. Their businesses gone. Small businesses are just bloodbath. I mean, it is like somebody ran through with an Uzi and just shot every small business owner right in the fucking face. There are certain businesses that are going to become irrelevant and not viable at all. And there'll be other aspects of business that nobody ever thought of that are suddenly going to be highly sought after. The world as we know it, like I said, has completely changed. What's up, Tom? Hey, good. I'm glad you're checking it out for change. Jay Watterson, too many, You know, that is the problem. That's the problem also. So he makes a good point about how to discern reality from the fake. And the fake news is so prevalent, but so compelling. It's very difficult to figure out what's real and what's fake. And when that's the reason why we're leaning towards safety. My wife is a fucking ER nurse. She is at ground fucking zero. So we are treating this shit really fucking seriously. Because everybody depends on me. So I have to make sure that I stay safe. So I try to keep my shit pretty much locked down for the most part. And it's really funny because as far as social distancing goes, people don't usually come near me anyway. I mean, I got halitosis or something. It could be just I got bad breath. So motherfuckers just stay away from me. But, it's okay. Tom, so glad I have a new job. Back order for, I bet, Tom. I fucking bet. Oh my God. That's why I'm glad that I am reliant and, me and my team, we've been prepping forever. I had some people I know that were saying shit like, yeah, we're good for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. It sucks. And I've been telling people for a long time, keep your preps in order. And I had so many friends and family just looking at me like I was a fucking moron. And then a lot of them come at me and go, all right, you can say it. Haha, I told you so. No, don't do that. I feel bad. I feel really honestly bad for motherfuckers that I have been screaming at the top of my lungs for close to a decade now. Yeah, for about a decade now, telling people prep, and getting laughed at. And they didn't think anything bad would ever happen. I'm like, well, here to go. Now, a couple of mysteries for me. There are some channels I don't really care for them. Rich from Boston's one. I think one of us, Bronx was talking about him. Rich from Boston. I used to like watching that guy. He went so hardcore, and I like Richie. I do. I do like him. I love his irreverent attitude. Do it or don't. I like him. But my problem with Richie is his solution is what? Drop to your knee and accept Jesus Christ. Okay, that's fine. But he talks his biggest shit, but he doesn't provide any actionable actions. He doesn't say what people should do. And I'm just like, well, dude, why are you going to talk shit and not provide options or give recommendations? I just kind of go, whatever. And another one is John X Army. John X Army, he went off the woo-woo train too, and he became higher, higher vibration. And I was like, okay, this dude, he's walking a metaphysical path, and, he's, embracing this third eye chakra or whatever. And to each their own. I don't really give a shit. Whatever path you go on, that's your fucking path. But both of those guys have been actually throwing little bits of information that I've been catching and paying attention to, going, That's interesting. That's interesting. Like, I've thought for a while now that the military of the blue helmets were definitely going to be provisioned and brought over here. But one thing that Richie from Boston had, he had one of his viewers, I think it was a military cat, at least somebody who was saying they were military, was talking about different types of deception, different types of warfare, and also talking about logistical realities of some things. And I was like, yes, I have friends in National Guard, I have friends in military that have also said things to me over the years that I'm like, yes, this rings true. In the old days, when I was training with military stuff, they were beating in our head, you don't leave equipment behind. You don't leave shit behind. That's Uncle Sam's. You bring it back. You don't, unless it's fucked up. But one of the things these guys said that was interesting was a lot of equipment that was brought over to Iraq and things like that were just constantly being, upgraded and fixed and patched and stuff like that. But they weren't bringing them back home. They just fucking left them. And I thought about it. I thought, from a logistical point of view of paying for shipping and from A to B and A to B and all this other shit, I could see how that could be cost prohibitive on equipment that was no longer valuable. Could be, the bitch been shot 19 times and it's been patched up 19 times, and the value of it on the books is like $5, right? So, I was looking at that and I go, well, fuck, we have all this equipment on boxcars and trains going everywhere, from San Diego to Florida to Chicago to whatever. We see and hear about these shipments. Well, I want to remind everybody, it wasn't too many years ago where all of those millions of rounds of ammo were bought. All those millions of dollars of food rations were bought. And all of those millions of caskets those plastic caskets were bought. And originally people were thinking that this was part of the whole re-education of the Hillary camps, and, that was going to get implemented and used against us at some point. And a lot of this stuff was staged over in FEMA Region 3. And I've always wondered about that. I always thought that was really weird. Now, we do see that a lot of military have been moved over to Cheyenne Mountains, and they're deep underground. And we do see that a lot of celebrities and a lot of high-ranking CEOs and things of that nature they're not here. They're not in the U.S. I forgot where Tom Hanks was at, but he's definitely not in the U.S. I can't remember where he was at, but I remember going, oh, he's not here. He's somewhere. But he was one of the first ones. And it was almost like I was watching a video and somebody said this, and I was like, oh, shit, you're right. Like, it was like, oh, hey, those guys in the know, I have the Rona. So I'm over here. See what happens. And then you see people bugging out to their bunkers and whatnot. And so remember now, if we're talking logistics with a system that is shut down for the most part, some ways it's very difficult to move, in other ways it's very easy to move around. If all the airports are shut down and supposedly you're not bringing people in from overseas, if you start flying shit in, troop transports, you could literally bring in thousands and thousands of people in the dead of night without people knowing about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot. It seems like there's a lot of mobilization, a lot of moving around. And at first I was kind of like, what the fuck? And then I was listening to John X. And then when John X was saying some shit, I said, huh. Some bitch, that is in a realm of possibilities, because there have been some really weird anomalistic shit, such as here in Utah, we had that 5.7 earthquake. And then over in Idaho, they had a 6.5, which I found both of those to be extremely interesting. And in Russia, they had their 7.5 or 7.6. Really interesting earthquake things. And then you factor in this C19. And if this thing is large enough and it does have some form of gravitational field or even some kind of electromagnetic influence on both the sun as well as our Earth, that could cause some really interesting things. And it could be that maybe this is like one of those asteroid type movie things, you know, ones like where Bruce Willis and went and drilled one, and another one, Deep Impact, and all sorts of. Remember, like the presidents and all them knew this shit, and they didn't wait, and they said something last minute. I mean, shit. 2012, you know, the Cusack, I think it's his name, right? Cusack. You know that one. The governments in the world knew this shit, and they got all their shit ready, and then left everybody else to fucking, oh well, too fucking bad for you. That would make a lot of sense about this, because you look in New York, for example, and you see them setting up all of these tents, setting up all these staging areas for the sick people, and a lot of them are empty. Now on the Q side of things, wow, Q side is like really entertaining and really fun. Like they're saying that Navy ship that's sitting out there is probably, now it's all cryptic, so it's all interpretation. So people are deciphering these cryptic things from Q, and they're saying, well, you know, the elite, the swamp, is getting drained, and they're going to throw them on that boat, and they're going to take them to Gitmo, and that's that. I'm like, okay. All right, well, I don't know which is more fantastic, right? The fucking comet, the night of the comet shit, or the deep state turning off the power, or they're going to round up the deep state and take them to Gitmo. I mean, they all sound ridiculous. Really. I cringe when I say them. Like, this is ridiculous. But regardless of any of those things, one thing is getting to be painfully apparent. There is a war going on between very powerful forces. And for whatever reason, one side decided it is time to pull out a major fucking Moab. And this Rona is definitely a fucking Moab. It is, wow. Shut down half of the fucking planet. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. So, whoever orchestrated that one, if you happen to be watching this with your meta, you know, scripting and whatever else, and you want to, you know, see who the fuck was talking about part of your plans, cheers, motherfucker, because you're a genius. You got skills, and I salute you, my good sir, or madam, whoever it may be, because you are a brilliant tactician. Holy shit. Because pull this shit off. God damn. Now understand, this is one of those watershed moments where the world changes right in front of us. And on the one hand, I'm pretty bummed out because even though the old world was kind of shitty and everything else, I was used to it and I kind of liked it. When change comes, it's really scary because it's too many unknown variables. Too many things we're not quite sure what's going to happen. And that's scary. For human beings, that's a terrifying concept. It's a lot like that one thing we've talked about in the past where a general catches a soldier, tells him in the morning, you're going to be executed by a firing squad. But I always want to give the condemned a choice. So there's a door. You take the door, or you take the firing squad tomorrow. Without any doubt or anything else, the next day comes, the guy says, I'll take the firing squad. They line him up, shoot his ass, and the assistant to the general goes, dude, the fuck? What's the door? He goes, the door is freedom. He goes, what? Well, has anyone ever taken a door? He goes, nope. No one's ever taken a door. He goes, why is that? He goes, because the fear of the unknown is worse than death. Now, I don't know if this is a real story. I don't know where it actually originated from, but it's very telling because I thought bull fucking shit until I tried that same scenario on my son. Now, granted, my son was young at the time, but my son said he'd take the firing squad. I said, why? He goes, because in his mind, the door was a trap and there was stuff far worse than catching bullets. Now, in my mind, when he said take the door, I said, fuck, I'll take the door right fucking now. Because regardless of whatever is inside the door, in my mind anyway, there's hope. There's a possibility. Me being bound up and shot and riddled with bullets the next day, I'm fucking dead. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But again, human mind is a funny fucking thing. It would rather face the oblivion of something that is completely known as opposed to the risk of something that is unknown. Now we find ourselves at this position where we are facing the unknown. What happens next? And for a lot of people, that's really, really, really fucking scary. And, you know, I'm anxious, but at the same time, I'm also a little bit excited. Because here's the thing, guys. This is now presenting the hustlers, the hardcore hustlers, an opportunity to really jump in on something brand new and kill it. Just dominate it. I saw earlier patterns on face masks and stuff, and I thought to myself, you know, it would be dope because I wear a CPAP, and the CPAP sits right on my nose, and it's got to have a seal on it or the air comes out. I said, man, all I got to do, take the same molds for a fucking CPAP, right? Rig that shit so instead of it coming up over the head and all this obstructive shit, just have the hose come like this, come around the face, be part of the straps, go in the back, put your filters in the back, and you're breathing. Breathing through your nose, you keep your fucking mouth closed. You know what I mean? There's a couple of different models that I came up in my head immediately that are far superior and probably a lot easier to pull off than these fucking face masks. But again, that's gives us an opportunity. Now, if the world changes even further, I mean, because this is scary, you know, you're like, oh yeah, a bunch of businesses are going to be there. They're not going to let us gather. They're going to probably control us and chip us and all this other shit. And there's a lot of things that are going to lead to your quote unquote dystopian society, right? But they're going to try to, you know, sugarcoat that shit with all kinds of fun stuff. And I have no doubt after everything settles, they will have a system in place that for the most part on the surface level will look very beneficial. I think it's very interesting right now, for example, Google as well as the telco companies are revealing the fact that they have been spying on us with very intrusive private data, and they've been aggregating that data and showing people who have been sheltering in place, who's not sheltering in place, how many people are congregating, and blah, blah, blah. They totally snitched on themselves, totally showed all the stuff that's supposed to be completely illegal. But because everybody's so fucking freaked out right now, everybody's like, wow, that's compelling. That's very interesting. And while people are afraid, they're also coming up with snitch lines. They're coming up with ways for us to tell on each other, how to limit each other's movements, things of that nature. So, it's interesting, you know. Let's see. Tom, unknown is almost always processed as a negative experience. Most people remember the cruelty of fate and man and use that to approximate what that unknown might be. Exactly. Well, that's a self-preservation tactic. You use the concept of the unknown. Darkness. Darkness is always a scary thought because you can't see what's in the darkness, but something in the darkness might be able to see you, giving it an unfair advantage to hurt you. But again, if you think about it, a lot of the unknown and a lot of the times that we push ourselves to be uncomfortable, to break out of our normal barriers, oftentimes on the end of that is an amazing breakthrough. We go, wow, I really didn't know I was capable of doing that. And that is an awakening moment, and it's actually a pretty cool experience. My life's been filled with tons of things where I thought, wow, nobody else has done that. I'm going to do it, and I do it, and then I get done with it, and my wife's like, wow, you should really sit back and enjoy the fact that you did that. But I never do, because I'm always jumping on to the next quote unquote impossible fucking thing, and I just keep it fucking moving. You know what I mean? But when I pause now and I look back, I go, holy shit, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I survived that. Holy shit, this is pretty fucking cool. And that's really, at the end of the day, what life's about. So I think, regardless of whatever else is going on here, this does present us with some really interesting, neat things. One of those being to actually cherish and embrace the things that we used to take for granted. Like, I bet people think about toilet paper completely differently now. Even though it's just a luxury item, it's not a necessity, but there are some people that are like, wow, toilet paper, right? Bidets. There are people before, they would look at bidets and be like, oh, fuck that. Squirting water up your, fuck that. That's stupid. Now they're like, dude, why the fuck didn't I do this before? Again, the unknown, right? There's been times with food. I don't eat that. That's fucking gross. But now, you know, old, I'm like, yeah, fuck, I'll try it. And I'm eating. I go, wow, I wish I would have tried this shit when I was younger so I could have eaten a metric ton of this shit. You know? Life's about experiences. And right now, we are being presented with a very interesting set of circumstances for us to test ourselves. You know? And through adversity, I think the best of humanity rises up. And this gives us a great opportunity for us to do things like this, like conversations like this, for us to be positive while other people are just freaking the fuck out. You know, I tell my kids all the time, look, you walk into a camp and somebody tells you there's 5 rattlesnakes in this camp. Okay. Now you have several choices in front of you. You can say, well, fuck it, I'm not going to this camp. There's fucking rattlesnakes here, right? Regardless of however big the campsite is, okay? Or you take the willy-nilly, well, fuck it, if it's meant to be, I'll get bit. Ah, fuck, I stepped on a rattlesnake. Okay. Or you do the responsible thing and say, okay, I will keep my head on a swivel. I will proceed cautiously. I will take all normal precautionary steps to make sure I don't get bit by a motherfucking snake. But I'm not going to let this ruin this opportunity. And then you come in and you do shit and you see a couple of snakes and they fucking scurry away from you, slither away, whatever. And, you know, the situation's fine. Or you get in that situation like that one cat. Remember there was that one dude, he was doing like this little nature video and he was talking about stuff and he was like, oh, see, rattlesnakes right here. And then he went to kind of put a stick near it to make it go the other way and the shit went right up on his fucking leg and he shit a log in his pants. But he stayed calm. He dealt with the situation. The snake didn't really want to fuck with him. The snake's just like, the fuck, you know. So the snake left and he didn't get bit. But boy, oh boy, did he have a fucking story to share with the world, right? He had an experience. He had something that nobody else had ever had. He had a brush with potential death, but didn't die, you know, and he kept his cool. I mean, really, that's my advice, is to stay cool and worry about shit when there's something to worry about, right? Be cautious, take the precautions, be reasonable, be safe, and then if something happens, you deal with it. You know what I mean? So anyway, what is this? I went, let's see here. That's something I understand was big in Cuba, snitching on one another, like telling family have more meat than they were supposed to. Yeah, well, you know, you see that in a lot of historical comps where we saw that shit happen all the time. Snitching. Oh, you snitch and now you get a little bit more of whatever, right? You get a little pat on the back. Oh, you know, Mother State loves you, whatever, you know. I went walking through capital sin where men don't walk or freely talk and sons turn their fathers in. Yep. You know, it's interesting because everything we have in front of us comes down to a fundamental choice, right? The choice being, Do we allow this to stress us out to the point where we make ourselves sick? Because that's one option. That's a very real option. Your immune system gets severely depressed and fucked up when you get really stressed out. You don't sleep right. You're not eating right. You just present your body with so much stress that when something does come, you get nailed. The few times that I've gotten sick in the last few years, they coincided with a metric buttload of stress, monetary stress, job stress, etc., family stress. And then, boom, I got sick because my body was just so run down because I was burning the midnight hour. I was, burning the candle from both sides. I wasn't sleeping. I was stressed the fuck out. And then I got sick. Well, when I keep my mindset the way it is right now, where I'm perturbed, I'm a little aggravated and stuff like that, but I'm not stressed out completely or whatever else, I think from an immunity point of view, I present a better, stronger platform to resist whatever might come at me. So I think it's very, very important for you guys, above all else, above anything, is to have the right mindset. The mindset's important because let's play what if. What if they were trying to create the boogeyman? And the only way to create the boogeyman was to create so much turmoil, anger, strife, misery, just shitty feelings, right? And they said, fuck, how can we create this in the shortest time possible? Oh, I don't know. Let's cook up a pandemic, kill a few fucking 100,000 people, and just hype that 24 fucking 7. All right, let's do it. And they do, and suddenly the world fucking goes batshit crazy. And now the boogeyman is created off of fear. Number one. So, look, if for nothing else, for your own fucking mental health, find a way to take a chill pill. Find a way to take the edge off. Find a way to relax. And because I can only imagine for some people, I'm blessed in a lot of ways. Like, I work for a company that I never go to an office. I work pretty much right. This is my life right here. This is it. So I'm blessed in that regards. But I know a lot of people, they actually don't have a job. I know a lot of people personally that don't have jobs now. They're fucked. They're out of work. But there's been times where I had no money. I was borrowing money, or I was like giving excuses to the motherfuckers that I owed money to. Look, I'm trying to get a job, or this, that, or anything else. When that happened to me, there were no bailouts. There were no care programs and this other bullshit. It was like, too bad, motherfucker. You figure some shit out and you hustle or you're fucked. The good news is right now, for a lot of you motherfuckers that are fucked, they're putting shit in place to help you out that will probably help out in the short term. You know what I'm saying? But right now, just chill. Try not to let the shit wear you down, because worry about the shit you can handle. That example of the 5 snakes in the park, right? The camping site. You don't see them. Okay. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit with a stick and worry about that shit 24/7? Or are you going to try to enjoy yourself at that park and be one with nature and debrief and, kind of find your grounding and stuff? Or you're going to freak yourself out. If you don't see it, there's nothing there for you to deal with. What can you do? It's the same thing like with bills. There's been times where I didn't have money to pay a bill. And what's up? What's up, Irish Zombie Nation in this motherfucker? There's been times where I didn't have any fucking money. And I'm sitting there and my wife is stressed the fuck out. And she's like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I said, but you know what? I'm not going to fucking worry about it. And she'd look at me like, what? I said, why am I going to worry about it? I got no fucking money. I have no moves right here, right now at 9 o'clock at night. There's nothing I could do, short of going robbing a bank or some other bullshit. Even the banks are closed right now. It's not going to even do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to worry about it till tomorrow. That's pretty much how it's got to be. If there's nothing you can do, why are you going to fucking sit there and be miserable that entire fucking time? Read a book. Clean the fucking house. I cleaned my fucking basement the last few days. The shit is beautiful now. I put a hammock up down in that bitch. So I told my wife, I said, you look, if we can't go on our vacation or anything else, fuck it. I will decorate this bitch to look like an exotic getaway, and you can just lounge in this fucking hammock, and I'll bring you drinks like a little fucking cabana boy, and we'll have a good time that way. You know what I mean? You just gotta find ways to make shit interesting and just fuck it. Ride that bitch out, because it don't make no damn sense for you just to be fucking miserable and make yourself sick. So anyway, it ain't worth it. I say fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. Play some fucking video games while you got the internet. Watch some fucking porn, whatever. Over in India, for a long time, porn was banned. Like, they were really cracking down on porn. But once they did this shutdown, they said, oh, well, by the way, you can watch porn. I mean, whatever it takes to pass the time. I mean, come on now. Me, if I didn't have to work, because my work is still going, so no matter what, I have to work. You know what I'm saying? I have to fucking work. If I didn't have to work, should I be writing? Fuck, I'd probably be able to, in a month's time without having to work or anything else? Shit. The lamentation of the women, the subjugation of your enemies at your feet, conquer, kill, rape, pillage. That is the best in life. I'm paraphrasing, of course. I can't remember the exact fucking thing from Conan. But, that summarizes the heart of man right there, though. That line from Conan. The guy was waxing poetry. The wind in your hair, the mountain beneath your feet, the kissing of the ocean. Conan's like, fuck that. Rape the women, kill the men, take all of the good shit. But there's also a part where James Earl Jones in Conan also, he drops some fucking knowledge where he's like, has that one chick jump off the fucking ledge and she just plows through the whole fucking wooden thing and destroys a big hole, like a crater's the shit. And he points at it and he said, that's power. Right there. That shit's power. He goes, look at your body, how big and muscular you are. So strong, Conan, and he goes, do you think of the fucking sword and all this shit is power? He goes, no, it's not power. You know what I'm saying? To stay home, play video games all day, masturbate vigorously to improve the immune system. Well, I hate to say it, but masturbating probably hurts the immune system because you're blowing out that sacred secretion. That's why they tell fighters, don't blow your load before a fight. There's something to that shit. I believe it. I don't know what it is, but there's something to it. That's our secret sauce. And, when we blow our secret sauce out, we lose a little bit of our essence. And I think our essence or our chi or whatever the fuck you want to call it needs to be in us to keep us solid right now. You know what I mean? It is the magical essence of life. Man has the secret soul gob. The soul gob, or the white goo of life, creates life. But anyway, I try my best to if I was young, I'd probably find a nice corner of the house and paint the walls, but I'm a fucking old man now, and even those ideas don't really work very well. Guess what the secret ingredient is? It's a special whip just for you, motherfucker. You lose testosterone. See, I'm telling you, man. You fucking whatever. Lines from Pirates of the Caribbean. Which one? There's so many fucking good ones in Pirates, I tell you. So many good lines. But it's just one of those things, man. Why is the rum gone? I don't know. Why is the rum gone? There should be more rum. Should be more. I'm gonna get some rum. I have in my back there. I move the curtain. I take the curtain to the side. I have a gang of rum. In fact, let's see if I scoot this way, right bloop, bloop, there inside of this little barrel. I have a bunch of rum in that barrel called Zacapa. That's my high-end rum. That's good. I'm gonna do that with my Dr. Pepper and shit. Take anyone, burn the rest. Who's the rum? Rum the rum. I'm the rum. Drink the rum. And then avoid the IRS and the bum. Alright, guys. I think that's going to be it. Real time story time tomorrow. I'm going to be lazy. I think it'll just be another good reading from the book. Magic really sucks. But the book doesn't. I always have to say that. Yeah, my book, Magic Really Sucks, but the book doesn't. Is out. Magic Really Sucks. Volume 1, Revelation. And, of course, I'm working on... you know what I might do? What I might do is... I think I have about an hour's worth of reading of my brand new book that I'm working on, Bloodline. Which is a really interesting story. It really is. I don't know. I'll see what you guys are in the mood for tomorrow. If you guys want to check the new shit out, I'll read some of the new shit. If you want me to read from Magic, I'll read from Magic. I'm a slave to the whims of my viewers. You just tell me, and I will read, and I will do this for you. Let's see what else. Again, my wife, she has a new YouTube channel. Go check it out. I will put it here again since I think it's going to be the same. I don't think I've copied and pasted anything else. Yep. So there's the wife's YouTube channel. Do me a solid. Go fucking check that shit out. Give it a Easter story. No, it's not an Easter story. Bloodline is definitely not an Easter story. Although there are some Easter aspects to it if you're religious. But that's later on in the story. That doesn't happen for quite some time. Are you reading my mind? Get out of my mind, Brian. Stop reading my mind. I could do a real-time story time traditional too. I could do, if I get enough people, I'll put it this way. If I have enough people that jump in tomorrow with keywords, I will do a real-time story time, and it will have some form of an Easter theme to it. It may not be a Christianity theme. It may be for the goddess Ishtar. I don't know. We'll see. It depends if there's enough people. If there's not enough fucking people, like 3 motherfuckers show up tomorrow, if 3 motherfuckers show up tomorrow, then I'm just going to do a reading. If I get at least 8 or 9, then we'll see. To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, to hear the lamentations of their women. That's it. Bingo, baby. That's the one. My favorite book that I've ever put out. Ooh, that's tough. I actually, I think it's got to be Rusted Blade. And then after, well, pretty close to Rusted Blade is Dude, Just Kill Yourself. Those two are my favorite stories that I've done. And they're short too. They're really, really short stories. Like, I think you can read them in 2 hours because they're novellas. But as far as like the main big stories, then there's either Magic Really Sucks 1, 2, or 3, or Convergence 2012. And I'm kind of torn because Convergence 2012 was a really big epic for me, and it was a story that I've had people say it seemed like 2 writers were writing it, and I think there was a lot of influences I wrote that book. So but Magic Really Sucks is another dream inspired set of stories. I mean, shit, I wrote all 3 of those books. Magic Really Sucks 1, 2, and 3, full volumes, full 300 plus page books. I wrote those 3 books in 7 fucking months, which is unfucking heard of. It's ridiculous how much I was writing at that time. But anyway, all right, that's it. If you like it, please subscribe. Tell your friends far and wide. Until next time, motherfuckers, please. Be good to yourself, good to each other. Go out, live life to the fullest. Ride the bus till the wheels fall off. Get some scars, find some love, all that jazz. And I will see you motherfuckers next time.